This video is not brought to you by Bud Light. I mean, if they sponsored my channel, they wouldn't be having any problems. They wouldn't be losing all this money. Just saying. as you can see, I'm not dead. You know, I know, I took a month off. I needed it. I'm pretty black-pilled right now when it comes to my whole plan, my retirement plan and everything. You know, so it kind of a lot has happened this last month, and I can kind of see the trajectory of where my life is going, and I'm just like, yeah, well, that sucks. I got back home a month ago, and I enacted an experiment. You see, the writing's on the wall. Within the next year or two, I will have to come off the road. I don't think that's up for debate at this point. And, you know, I'll cross the bridge when I get there. But, you know, for now, I can still go to Vegas, and I can still do this part-time trucking. But there's going to come a point where I can't even do the part-time trucking anymore. I'm going to have to make money locally. And I won't be able to travel as much, at least not as far as I have been. So I've been coming to terms with that, and that's kind of depresses me a little bit. But it's necessary, you know. You know, I have a promise to fulfill, and I plan on fulfilling it. So I'm coming to terms with that, but I'm also coming to terms with our shitty fucking economy. You know, this whole semi-retirement plan works if I actually can make money when I'm in this fucking truck. And as you know, the last time out, with the exception of the last week, which I pushed really hard to get some more miles out of the company, we're out now, and it's the same thing. Like, my first fucking week out, the first day of picking up a load, which should have brought me to New Hampshire, got canceled. You know, I was almost to the pickup, and I got canceled, so I had to turn around and go back, and then meet another driver who picked up a load that was bringing it, and take that load into Ohio, which I eventually got to do. However, he took an extra day to get there as well. And if that wasn't bad enough, it turned out that load was actually 2 days early. Now, shit like this doesn't happen unless freight is slow. You gotta understand, when freight is fast, there's a driver shortage. That's a constant. So when freight is operating at a good level, you're usually struggling to be late, not 2 days early to deliver. Of course, they didn't tell me I was 2 days early to deliver. So I got turned away from the customer in Ohio and told I got to wait till the next day before they'll take it, even though it was a drop-and hook. So, needless to say, my next paycheck might not break the $600 or $700 mark for, you know, a whole week of fucking around with this. You know, and that is something I could probably do easily with gig economy. So I've been experimenting with that, you know, and I depleted my savings by $500 during my entire month off, because whenever I went to spend money, I would go to and do some gigs, you know, some deliveries, to make up for whatever money I spent. Whenever I went out to the bar to drink myself silly, I would go and do gigs and make sure that I made the money up, you know, and it worked out. You know, I was able to reduce most of that $500 that I reduced my savings of was when I came back in the truck and I'm having to, you know, I'm having to eat shitty food for $15-20. But I've even worked on that, you know, to where I bought some lunch meat, I bought some bread, and I make sandwiches, you know, and it turns out it's a lot cheaper to eat that way, although obviously not healthy at all, because you're eating processed meat, you're eating carbs, you're eating fucking bread, and, you know, but it's cheap calories, and it still is affordable to eat that way. Not very satisfying, doesn't make me happy, you know, but I can squeeze a few days of not going into fast food places and restaurants while also not cooking. Because cooking when you're driving a truck sucks. But I might have to reevaluate that pretty soon if this economy continues to suck. Because, you know, it's hard to stretch my time off if I don't make good money when I come out to work. So, things are going to be tight for my Vegas trip. I'm not going to get to do all the fancy things that, you know, my friends who are going to Vegas are doing. At least I don't think I will. I don't know what they're planning as far as the expensive stuff. I won't be able to do, I don't think. I've already got the concert ticket, so that's already set. Being able to pay my way into the Grand Canyon National Park shouldn't be an issue either. But anything super touristy or gambling or any of that shit in Vegas isn't going to be on my radar, going out to fancy dinners every night or anything like that. I will be car camping while I'm there, so that'll be interesting, finding places to park and spend the night. I might have a line on some parking spots while I'm there, but we'll see. But, you know, I'm in the 2-week period before I go to the trip. You know, right now I'm on the road for another week and a half, and then I'm going to go home for a couple days, get the car ready. I got to renew my registration, so there goes another couple $100 to New York State. And it's basically, it's going to be tight and it's going to suck. And I'm going to have to do deliveries as I cross the country to pay for gas and food. Just so because I don't want to not have a buffer of cash when you drive 2,400 to, I think it might even be 2,600 miles. You gotta have a, oh shit, I blew a tire fund or stuff like that. I got AAA and all of that, so that's not super, unless I'm super remote. You know, it's not a strong concern, but, you know, the less I can lower my balance while I'm traveling, I guess the further I can stretch it. But it's also going to be a good benchmark for if trucking doesn't work out, because I can tell you, if the economy doesn't turn around or we don't get busy again out here, or, you know, if I keep coming out here earning under $1,200 a week, it ain't worth it. It's not worth it for me to be out here. I can do that locally through the gig economy if need be, without being captive in this box for as much fucking time as I have been. So, you know, other than that, the month I spent not thinking about shit, not, you know, keeping up with every news thing. No, I obviously knew about the Bud Light thing. You know, because it's not gotten any better. You know, the news, I'm not happy with the way the world is. I'm not happy with the fact that we just keep marching towards World War III like it's nothing. I'm not happy with the censorship that's apparently come back to YouTube, which, you know, it took a slight break while they were transitioning from Susan to whoever the fucking new guy is, and now here we are, banning channels and censoring stuff for what essentially is a meme at this point. You know, I'm just so tired of it. I'm also tired of there not being good quality entertainment out there, TV shows, movies, anything like that. Escapism. A lot of my escapism, I'm playing like computer games from the 90s, you know, in early 2000s to take my mind off of the modern world and have an escapist activity such as that, which, you know, isn't very productive. You know, I need to get out there again. You know, ideally, I'd like to be nomading full time. I'd like to be in the Prius, somehow making a living as a content creator / gig economy worker, and traveling and doing all the cool things that van lifers do, even though not everything they do, you know, some things suck. But you know, as somebody who's lived in vehicles for as many fucking years as I have, I'm coming up on my 20 years of trucking mark, you know, and I'm surprised I've lasted this long. 20 years is a long fucking time to be in and out of this box. And I don't have much to show for it, you know. 20 years in the truck, and you know, I don't have a relationship. I don't own anything of note at this point. I have my car, you know. I've got a couple computers, some cameras, and some music gear. And that's it, you know. Pull-out couch. So I don't have much, which is fine. I'm a minimalist, but you know, I don't see myself growing old in the traditional retirement sense. And I'm probably going to be doing this by myself as I get older as well, just based on the dating world, of which I've had some encounters recently, and they didn't give me a warm fuzzy. In fact, a big part of my recent depression was an experience I had during this last month in the dating world. And yeah, it's not for me. But you know, that's where I'm at. That's the headspace I've been in. Right now I'm in Wisconsin, picking up a 200-mile load that doesn't pick up till 4 o'clock today, so I got about 3 hours before I have to leave this truck stop I'm stopped at, and go to Green Bay, pick up the load, and then down through Chicago into some town in Illinois somewhere. 200 miles, you know, and it doesn't have to be there till 1 o'clock tomorrow, even though I could easily run. If I didn't have to stop and wait for this load to be ready, I could have already been there, picked it up, and be almost 3/4 of the way there. I could have done this load easily in one day, but they're scheduling it. And they did this because they gave me another load for going from Illinois to Columbus, which is a few more miles, but, you know, granted it's the weekend, I suppose that's part of it, but I didn't make hardly any money during the week because of all that bullshit. So, I don't know. Things are getting tighter out here, economy-wise. And I can also tell, because I was looking at it, we're in the $3 something range on diesel. You know, and it's not because we got more diesel. It's not because we got fucking refineries opening up across the country or any of that shit. It's because demand for fuel is down. Just ahead of summer is ridiculous. I thought it would shoot way the fuck up. When I saw 3 something for diesel here, I was like, you know, oh, they must have a fucking oil refinery right here in Wisconsin. I don't know. Maybe they do. But fuel prices are falling, and it's because freight is slowing, which means less demand for diesel. You know, it's a demand that's causing, you know, the demand is going down, not the supply going up, you know. And that's not good. And I can tell you, being a trucker, you're on the front lines of the economy. You know before everyone else around you knows when things are getting bad. And things are starting to get bad. People are spending less money on things. You know, places feel more empty now, you know, as far as eating out and all of that kind of stuff. And it's going to continue to trickle out unless the economy turns around somehow, which I don't see the Fed doing anything that's going to turn it around. I don't see the stock market doing anything that's going to turn it around. And the government, the government ain't doing shit. You know, they're busy fucking around with all the political scandals and shit. You know, their eyes aren't on trying to fix our budget, fix the amount of debt that we're in as a country, and definitely haven't addressed the inflation issue as prices continue to go. Despite fuel prices and all of that dropping, prices of food and shit have continued to go up. You know? I want to see those prices come down along with the fucking diesel. If demand is down, but these are things that demand is constant on. You know, you need food, you need basic necessities. And I'm noticing that I'm hauling nothing but basic necessities out here. You know, food, beer, Walmart, except for Bud Light. I'm not hauling any Bud Light to my knowledge. You know, so I'm having to adjust my plan. And this trip to Vegas, which will be about 3 weeks long, and the Grand Canyon, hopefully, if I can afford it, that it's going to be a real benchmark with, even when I go local, how I've maintained my finances and maintain my living situation, you know. So we'll see. Not quitting trucking, you know, but I am going to do it a lot less until I just can't even do that anymore. You know, probably 2 weeks, and then a month off, and then 2 weeks on, and then a month off is what I'm pretty much looking at. But if those 2 weeks are shit, you know, and I have to stay out a month to make what I should be making in those 2 weeks, then I really got to start thinking about things I can do to continue to tighten the belt and, you know, go from there. As for my channel, you know, expect breaks from time to time. You know, the idea that I could somehow grow this channel on YouTube is a pipe dream that died 2-3 years ago. Probably around 2020, this channel began its staleness, you know, as far as lack of growth, lack of exposure. You know, my thumbnails don't get a lot of impressions, you know, so it's not that I suck, it's that YouTube's not showing my thumbnails to people, or, you know, getting people the opportunity to tell me I suck by not watching videos, you know. So in fact, my click-through and impression rate has, on the impressions, the click-throughs have gone up. You know, it used to be a hell of a lot lower that people would click through back when I was a health YouTuber. I still gotta laugh because look at me now. But, you know, and I've had a profound lack of energy, which comes with depression. So that's why you didn't get a video over the course of the month. I'll try to do better, but, you know, doing the best I can. I just hope this economy doesn't continue this downward spiral. But it don't look good. But what the fuck do I know? You know, I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole. You know, if you're a happy person, like your life is good, you love your life, everything is fucking awesome, I want you to comment down below and tell me why you're so fucking happy right now. What is so great about life right now? You know, help cancel out me just sitting here being like, wow, this sucks. You know, do you have a bright future ahead of you? Are things great? You know, tell me down below. I want to hear from the happy people. Where the fuck are the happy people? Where are you? Everyone I know in my life, personally, is fucking miserable. They're not happy at all. They're struggling. Their relationships are often on the rocks or shitty, you know, and they're medicating themselves into fucking oblivion, you know, with alcohol and a few other things. And it's crazy. I want to know. I want to hear from somebody who's living the fucking good life. Are you living the good life? Are you fucking happy? Let me hear from you. You know, let me know that the whole world isn't shit. All right, please like and subscribe for more shit. And every once in a while, I'll make more shit. If you like this video, you want to support the channel, you want me to go out on the road a little here and there, please, and if you want to help with the Vegas trip, that'd be nice too, please head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and leave a tip in the virtual tip jar. And that'll guilt trip me into making videos more often. Or something. Or not. You know, you don't got to do any of that. That'd be fine. So, and I'll kind of keep you posted on how the gig economy idea, you know, the demand-driven work. Because as a minimalist, you can really tailor your spending if you know you got to go and, you know, do deliveries or whatever the hell your gig economy work is for so many hours to pay for. And, you know, the gig economy doesn't pay as good per hour on average as trucking does, you know. I think the most I've seen is $30 an hour on the gig economy, and that's before expenses, gas, wear and tear on your vehicle, you know, stuff like that. And that is like optimum. Everything's good. You're not doing a lot of empty miles. You're not sitting in between gigs, that kind of stuff. So that's rare. More often than not, the average is under 20 an hour. Sometimes even 15 an hour if you're not careful. Though loaded mile wise, doing deliveries, I average over $1 a mile. So that pays more than being in a truck. But not as many long mile loads to do from. It's mostly short stuff with a lot of empty miles that don't count towards that $1 a mile in between. So the true average is probably about half that, you know. Well, that's it for this video. Wish I had more to tell you, but, you know, since I've been out here, I've been just watching TV at the end of my days. And I haven't even set my laptop up the entire time I've been out here. So this will be me editing this video will be me breaking the laptop out for the first time out here. So have a nice motherfucking day. Shit. Let me hear from you happy motherfuckers. Alright? Your life is good. You know, do I have any yous in my audience? Or did I scare yous away? Probably scared you away. I'm a little scary.